Welcome to Corrective Consciousness, episode 91, the podcast about our lives and love of pop culture. I am your host, vysethebold, and this is...
Lotus Prince.
And...
Fakafon.
Oh my god!
Isn't this amazing?
Tis. Yes. So we want to thank you for joining the show, a long-time fan and contributor in some regards, we're correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, done a ton of title cards and stuff. It's freaking awesome.
Oh, just a few.
Just a few.
And, yeah, and a theme, if I remember right.
Yeah, I'm the one who did one of the title cards for Corrective Consciousness, but I did not do the music though.
Yeah, no, yeah. Dracolis did the theme, but Fakafon did the one that with the you, me, and Pyro, like with the blue background.
I think I need to update that one of these days, like just to put everyone in.
Well, you know what? We do drastically need to update it to have the regular cast members all included, and then like some of the other people that are occasionally on as well, because it's less of a regular cast, and we kind of do each week is a little bit different. I would say.
Yeah.
So that's actually a great thing, and I might add that you're the second fan to be on. And I consider this to be a really great thing. The thesis of the podcast was to stay in touch with my friends and also to broadcast my friends and our relationship. So adding more friends is another component to that. So I really want to thank you for being on.
Absolutely.
Hey, no problem.
Yeah. Hope to have more guests in the future.
Mm-hmm.
So, why don't we kick this off? Lotus, why don't you start us off here for this week?
All right. I mean, I had a really low-key week today, so this is today. But so this isn't.
Does that open a low door?
Hmm?
Does that open a low door?
No. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I'm so sorry. But no, I had a really low-key week, though. I don't actually have very much to talk about other than just, going to work, grading the papers, very samey. The only things I really have to update on are that I streamed some more Zack and Wiki and got to some, I got to the ice world. We finished up the ice world and we started the volcano world, like the fire world. We're getting into that. And it's taking me longer.
Love that part of the game. That's when the acrobatics of the way that you move around get the best. They feel so good when you're doing that.
Yeah, it gets pretty intense. Although you could usually find a way to die in earlier levels, but in the ice and fireplace, it's just getting to be more of a thing that you really gotta watch out because now there are little gotcha moments and stuff like that.
It's getting a little Meat Boy-ish at this point, but that's kind of alright.
Yeah, now the thing with Zack and Wiki is that before you enter a level, you could spend your money to buy hint tickets or revive dolls, and if you use them, that's fine. It'll help you get to the puzzle. You can respawn where you died, I think, but you'll lose a lot of your bounty money, their Harame Q, whatever that's for, other than swag. I haven't been buying the hints of the revive dolls, so if I die, I have to restart the whole level. But it's getting to a point where that's actually starting to interfere with enjoyment. I probably should buy a revive doll, because I'll get to the end of a level that took me a while to figure out, and you just die. You can get back there a lot more quickly once you know what to do, but it's oh man, so it kind of, it's a lot of work for just some little thing nabs you at the very end. It could get a little frustrating.
Have you noticed what the monkey looks like in that game?
Actually, I think Fakafon said that he looked like
Looks like Data from Mega Man Legends.
That's the one, yeah.
Yeah. You pointed that out in the comments, and
yeah, I haven't played Mega Man Legends.
I didn't think of it yet until you had mentioned it.
I'm not even sure I knew about the monkey.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's it. I was just gonna say I'm not sure I even knew that there was the monkey in Mega Man Legends.
Oh, he's
I just knew
the
about
save point.
Mega Man and Roll. Oh, okay.
He's the save point in Mega Man Legends. He's very cute, and his name is Data. And he's actually an integral part of the story as you get in later on in the game. But Mega Man Legends is great. I never beat 2, but I beat the first one and Misadventures of Trombone. I love those games. I'm really sad to see that we'll never get a third one.
Yeah. But I'm sorry, Fakafon, what were you going to say about, I guess, Data?
Yeah, well, basically, like Vice said, at the end of the game, you realize that data is like an incredibly like important part of the plot, and you were just not aware of it for the entire game. So it's like, where did that come from? But it's
Yeah,
pretty amazing.
Zack and Wiki looks like it's pulling something similar
I
because
know, right?
yeah,
Like,
Wiki's just your little buddy. But like at the start of the game, when you open the first treasure chest and you free Barbaros, like the skeleton pirate, he's like, I need to be restored, and then he looks at Wiki and he's like, wait, are you the one who put me in here? And Wiki's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And then they kind of drop it, and I get the feeling we're gonna hear nothing about this until the end of the game, where some big things reveal, but I don't know what it is.
well, not only that, but when you open a chest, it's clearly like the head of Wiki on the chest. So
Yeah, the lock mechanism is like Wiki's ears. It's like, huh. So I don't know. There's something going on with Wiki, but I just don't know what it is. Otherwise, I've been talking about Ori and the Blind Forest for a little bit. The first installment just went up on Patreon, quote, today. So by the time people hear it on this podcast on Tuesday, 3 parts ought to be up. So we're finally starting to put the thing online. And the only other thing I really have to talk about is just I took a look at a GameStop for just any Wii or Wii U games. Just like, is there anything that sticks out to me now that I'm playing the Wii with like the crappy Stone Keep and Zack and Wiki? And I finally...
Wait, which Stone Keep would that be?
The crappy one. Because there's only one. You know which one it is. Bones of the Ancestors. But I finally went and picked up Rodea the Sky Soldier, which is interesting. I don't even know really what the game is, but it interests me for 2 reasons.
Did you get the limited edition with the Wii version in it?
I mean, I know there's like a collector box edition, but I just got
Did it come with 2 discs? Did
yeah,
it come with a
yeah,
Wii U and
it
a
did
Wii
come
version?
with a Wii edition, but I don't think it was a limited edition. I thought they all just did that.
The first issue of the game only came with the Wii.
Okay,
version.
so that's what I was gonna say. Is I think it was the last Wii game released, and also it's also a Wii U game, and I've never seen this before, where you buy the game and it comes with the same game twice for each system. Unfortunately, I think the Wii U version is the inferior one because it like the game was designed for the Wii, so there's gonna be like slowdown or input lag or something on the Wii U, which is unfortunate.
That's not the only reason. So, the game was really designed with the Wii in mind as the control method, and the game plays as such. The Wii U version is controller controlled, gamepad controlled. So I believe, and the Wii U version is actually a port of the DS remake.
Oh boy.
So
not that again.
It is two steps removed from the original envisioning of the product. So the also the original designer Yuji Naka of Knights and Sonic fame only worked on the Wii version, so that would account for why it feels a lot better.
Oh, that's a little weird, but okay.
If you play the game though, and you have been following Yuji Naka's design down the line, you will basically feel like the game plays like a 3D version of Knights.
Okay.
It very much feels like a 3D version of Knights.
Curious.
Or something similar. Yeah. So it's pretty cool. It plays. You can get into a groove where you're like flinging your character around, and it's a lot of fun.
Nice.
I recommend playing the Wii version, obviously.
Yeah, like everybody recommends playing the Wii version. It's kind of unfortunate, but
just ignore the Wii U version. They should have just they probably could only publish it that way, unfortunately.
Yeah, like the Wii's dead, man. Wii U's where it's at. So like, I mean, I'm happy that they allowed us to have the Wii version.
Yeah, it's an interesting game. It's not a looker though. It doesn't look like the graphics.
Even the back of the box, I'm like, okay.
The graphics in the Wii version are sub GameCube, I would say. Sub GameCube.
Oh man, come on.
Yeah. No, there are some GameCubes that look beautiful, but and this game does not look great.
Yeah.
But it plays fun.
Okay. Anyway, that's really it. Like, I don't have much to really talk about in terms of, fun stuff. So that's kind of my week. So how are things by you, Fakafon?
Wait, really? I have to do all the filling now? We
All
only
of
talked
it.
for like 10 minutes.
All of it.
Okay, all right. Well,
you get like 40 minutes. Go.
all right, I'm going to take a crack at it. Well, since...
I'll sign out.
Yeah.
I'm on it. I got it, guys. Well, honestly, I don't play a lot of consoles games just because I don't have a lot of money, so I don't own any consoles anymore.
Mm-hmm.
The last console I owned was a PS2, so,
It's a good console.
Oh, it's
It
a good
is.
one, yeah.
Except
It's the
I don't
best-selling
have it
console of
anymore.
all time. So.
Yeah.
Is that worldwide or just
Worldwide.
in Japan? Jesus.
Yeah,
But anyway,
it was
yeah,
a big
so-
deal. It was a PS1 and a PS2. Like, systems didn't really do
And
that.
a DVD player.
And they don't do that anymore, really, either. Like, you can't just put a Wii game inside a Wii U, right? You have to buy, like...
No, you can. No, you can.
Oh, you can? Okay, never mind.
Yeah, the Wii U has a virtual, like, do you want to switch to Wii mode? So you can do that. And just as you can put a GameCube into a GameCube disc into a Wii.
It is worth noting that the only backwards compatible system of this generation is the Xbox One.
Yeah, that's pretty bizarre.
Yeah.
Because they took forever to get on that. The PS4 has the virtual console, but yeah, like the PS3 was the one where you could put in PS1 and sometimes PS2 games.
Man, it shows how much I know about consoles, huh? Jeez.
Yeah. Well, if you're I assume you're a PC guy then.
Yeah, pretty much.
A lot of Steam stuff.
Sorry, what?
Steam. You play a lot of Steam stuff.
Everyone has Steam stuff. If you have a PC, you have Steam stuff.
At this point, yeah.
But yeah, well, for us this week, I've been basically playing just a few games, not a lot. I've been playing Brawlhalla a lot, which is basically a Super Smash game that's on Steam. Well, similar.
Yeah, that
to.
game's a lot of fun.
It's amazing, and honestly, it's really fun to play. Of course, you always get, those guys. You play online, so you always get the guys who just stand in one corner. They look at you and are like, "All right, you're about to die," and I get the kill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone.
That's why I mostly like for games like that. I like that being a couch kind of game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me too, but it's hard to fit anyone in my little room here, so I just play on my own.
You know what I heard was also kind of good in that vein? Rivals of the Aether.
Yeah, I know what that is. And actually, it's pretty funny because they have a skin for the frog guy in Rivals of Aether in Brawlhalla.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
So you can buy that skin. It looks cool. It's not the actual character.
Like that.
Yeah, I like it too. Like, it's not the actual character, it's just a skin for one of the guys that's already in there, but it's pretty great. Looks...
Yeah. This might be a game that I shop for our group of friends because we love this kind of game. Like Towerfall's like a big thing for us. We love playing Towerfall whenever we go to conventions. So this might be another game that we might want to give a shot. I also like Lethal League. I don't know if you guys have ever played Lethal League.
Lethal League is really fun.
Is that the one where there's like the ball bouncing around and each time you hit it gets faster?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, limited run games had that for sale at one point. I like it, and that was I didn't end up getting it, but I was really on the fence because that game is freaking ridiculous. It's like super entertaining and couch.
Oh, it is.
Yeah. There are a lot of really good. I don't know what you would call them. They're just like couch multiplayer games now. Couch multiplayer action games now. I mean that now that Towerfall has kind of made it popular again. I mean you have Nidhogg 2, of course, and then so many other ones that have really taken off. I really like Samurai Gun. I don't know if you got a chance to play that while we had it in the room during MagFest.
I think I played that with you. I know I played that with you once, but like what I was going to say to answer your question about what the genre is called is that like I know there already is a genre called party games, but this might be like the next evolution of party games.
I would think more party games to me is more like Jackbox.
No, I know, but like this is still like I don't know, like the next level of like you play it when you're having like just a group get together. Like you don't invite a friend over and say like let's play Samurai Gun. It still feels more like a group kind of thing.
This is. I would even throw Mario Kart into the same and Mario Party into the same kind of.
Those are games you play 2-player with like your sibling, but like you try to get 4 players whenever you can.
Yeah, exactly. Or else Luigi will just win by doing nothing.
I love that.
Them that way.
That's the funny. The person who made that video said. I'm sorry?
Oh, I'm so sorry. No, I was just gonna say these are like the best videos to watch.
Oh, they're so good. Now,
so
to
entertaining.
be fair, the person who made that Luigi Does Nothing and Wins video, they did say they had to do like 100 takes to make it happen. It's not just like Luigi wins by doing nothing, but the results were still really funny.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry. I also I interrupted here. Can you explain to the audience what Brawlhalla is all about? I mean, other than being kind of like a Smash Brothers like what makes it special?
It's about the weapons, basically. You know, in Smash, you could pick up weapons on the ground like the swords, the hammers, the Pokeballs, etc., and you just any characters could use them. But in Brawlhalla, you basically have a character-specific weapon for every character. So you can fight with your fist, which everyone has the same moves, but then you get your weapon like a hammer, a sword, a gun, a spear, a mechanical spear, etc., etc. And that's where the real fun comes in, because then you get all the moves. Your character has moves based on the weapon they have, and it's pretty great. Instead of so the way it works is everyone has the same base moves, like when they're unarmed and when they have a weapon. So everyone has the same, like every axe wielder has the same axe attacks, but it changes when you use your special attacks in like very varying way. Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
The way it works, it makes it kind of like equilibrium, because everyone starts off with the same moves, and then you learn like how to use the special attacks. Unlike in Smash, where everyone is basically always different, except maybe Mario, Luigi here are similar, but like everyone is very different. Brawlhalla, everyone is kind of the same, and then their weapon makes them unique.
That's kind of funny because in Smash,
yeah,
like they ironically all get the same when they pick up a weapon.
Yeah, that's true. It's kind of like the opposite. They just start swinging.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one of the things I like about Brawlhalla, which is a thing I think has been lost in the more Smash has progressed, is the level design is really simple and efficient. So, you know, when you play, you have the simple
it's always
platform.
Final Destination?
Yes, always.
No. I mean, I get the idea. Like, Smash on the 64, like, levels had their gimmicks and different terrain, but, like, you go up to a guy and you fight him. Whereas in Brawl and Smash Wii U, there are levels where you have to, like, put legitimate effort into getting to your opponent at all. Like
New Pork City.
Yeah, like I know this is what, like, I know this particular level is one of Mr. Ryu's favorites, but like I cannot stand that the great, I forget, like the Great Cave Offensive in in the Wii U. Like just you're a million miles away from anybody. Like I just can't deal with that level.
You don't fight in this level. You just like fumble around until you fall in the lava and die. That's what happens.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I'm the same way. When the levels are... Oh, I'm sorry?
No, I was going to mention the Poke-Floats level, but I actually like that level because while the level moves, you're still always kind of near somebody, and you're both platforming at the same time, so never mind. I actually like Poke-Floats. And Big Blue. I like Big Blue as well, even though I think some people don't.
That was really fun.
Yeah.
I like Big Blue. The
Me
music's
too.
also great.
As always. Yeah. It's fantastic.
So in Brawlhalla, they don't really have that. Like, the levels will move around a little bit, and like what's fun is most levels, the layout of the level is going to change a little bit. Like a platform will rise, or like small platforms will like separate. But that's it. It never goes into like the crazy territory where like a car is zooming by, or like the level just dramatically shifts. It's usually very tame. More like the original Super Smash, where like level changes would be minimal. Like the only thing I can really think of is like well, there's of course the Metroid Lava, but like when you play the Mario level with the platforms that go left and right, it's more like that.
Okay, or like maybe even like the Hyrule Castle level where maybe there's a tornado that stays in one place.
Anyway, so that's Brawlhalla in a nutshell. It's basically just imagine Smash but with like the old levels.
Okay.
Oh, you should friend me on Steam so we could play a little bit.
That would be amazing. I'd like that. And I hope you'll like it too.
Yeah. I think I have that game, or at least I've been having it on my wish list, so I'll add it pretty soon.
Well, it's not a problem. The game is free, so.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty rad.
Yeah.
I will buy it.
You can actually buy a character pack, which just gives you all the character from the get-go, or. I should explain that. The way to get characters in this game, you get the rotation per week. Like you play these 6 guys, and then the next week is those 6 guys, kind of like in Leagues of Legends and such. But the more you play, the more you get like game money, and then you can buy a legend with them.
Okay.
Okay, gotcha.
So you get one you like, and you're like, I want to keep that guy, so you buy him.
That's
Cool.
okay. That's a clever way of handling it.
Nice. That sounds like a bit better than the way they did Killer Instinct when they released that.
Yeah,
where they
where
gave
you have to
you
buy
Jago.
like you must buy like every character in the game.
Yeah, but they're all different.
Really?
They're not the same at all.
Yeah.
Whereas with Brawlhalla, at least like all the characters function exactly the same.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Man, the last time I played Killer Instinct was like the one on the Nintendo 64. So.
Oh no, the Windows 10 one, the recent one is really good. It's on Xbox One and Steam now.
Yeah.
It's really good. They just released it on Steam, I think, only a couple months ago.
Nice.
It is worth every penny. It's an amazing game.
You could play as Battletoad.
Yeah, you can play as Rash.
Nice.
Yeah. Actually, it kind of makes me think of Injustice just added the Ninja Turtles. Which is pretty
That's
awesome.
amazing.
Yeah.
I was not aware of that. That's amazing.
Yeah, like the DC universe is getting as many crossovers as like Capcom. It's insane.
Yeah, I think I think technically they're all part of the same conglomerate now. So because Nickelodeon is owned by Viacom, and I think they kind of have a partnership with Warner Brothers. So
I just love how ridiculous like the Mortal Kombat universe is starting to get with crossing over. Like Soul Calibur used to be the series that would cross over, but there'd be like one cameo character, and Mortal Kombat is just going into like every universe.
Well, Mortal Kombat was probably the first fighting game to cross over, I would say.
Soul Calibur 1?
No. Well, no, Mortal Kombat, I meant.
No, but I'm saying Soul Calibur 1, though. It had Yoshimitsu.
Oh, that's true. I didn't think of that. I was more thinking, Mortal Kombat had Mortal Kombat versus DC, but of course.
Oh, that's
Capcom
true.
and
But
Marvel,
that's PS3 though. Like Soul Calibur did it. Yeah, Mortal Kombat versus DC is PS3. Soul Calibur's been doing it on the Dreamcast, obviously the GameCube with Link. You know, it's been moving around.
There was Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter.
That's true. Yeah, the Capcom
the
versus Capcom's really been going all out with its crossovers, like all over the place. Namco cross Capcom, and then Project Cross Zone, which is Namco cross Capcom cross Sega. It's like yes.
And then there was also SNK versus Capcom.
Yeah,
and Capcom versus SNK.
Yep, both
with different characters in each.
Yep. So, did you want to add anything more about Brawlhalla?
No, I guess I'll just tell people to go play it because it's fun.
Nice.
Sounds great.
Anyway, the other game I've been playing, and I'm going to sound like Pyro, but yeah, Granblue Fantasy.
Oh man, I wish you guys could nerd out about this.
Pyro Jack Frost, what are you doing here?
Hey guys, it's me, your friend Pyro. But yeah, the cool thing about Granblue Fantasy this week, and it actually started today, there's a Conan the Detective event going on, so it's crossing over with like the old cartoon.
Oh wow.
Yeah, well.
Oh man, can you kick soccer balls at people?
Yes, you can. You can actually play as Conan and he kicks balls.
That's pretty rad.
That's awesome.
But that's not the first time Granblue had actually some crossovers. They did it with Street Fighter. They did it with the Tales of series. Like they had Sophie and I forget his name. The guy who looks like a girl. Wait, that's all of them. Never mind.
I was gonna say in Tales of, that'll narrow it down. Yeah.
I don't remember which Tales it is, but it's basically the one where you play as the guy with the long hair who has a dog with him who smokes a pipe.
Oh, Tales of Vesperia.
That's the one.
Yeah, I forget his name in that. He was actually my favorite main character in the series, but not that I have much experience.
To me, it was
he was a cool guy.
What was his name?
I can look it up.
I have no clue. Like, I have a hands-on experience with 2 Tales of games, and I saw Luminaire play a couple like pieces of like Legendia and the Abyss, but other than that, I got nothing.
For me, my favorite
games is
Tales of Games is
a bit of Vesperia actually. Yeah, Tales of Games, the true Tales of.
Just all of them combined.
No, Tales of Games is like that's the Barkley Shut Up and Jam Gaiden people.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, that's actually it's Tales
it.
of Games is a real thing, which is the greatest crossover, which is real life and Space Jam.
Sweet.
I believe it's Flynn that we're talking about.
Flynn, okay. Man, where was I? Oh yeah, so
Conan.
yeah, Conan. So one last thing, they also had a crossover with like Sakura Card Captor. I was not expecting
Oh
that.
wow, okay.
But the way it happened is apparently the girl who voices Sakura also voices people in Granblue. So when they were like, you wanna do a crossover, she was like, hell yeah.
Do they have fun with that? Like, you sound familiar or something weird like that? Is
No.
there like a meta level to it? Because sometimes it gets kind of funny. Like, for example, there's oh no, I forgot the series' name. It's one of the DC cartoon series. But it might have even been Young Justice or something. But there's like a spin-off like just sketch series where it's just like a 2 or 3 minute like comedic thing going on in the DC universe. And one of them was this whole bit where the Joker and the Trickster had captured Mark Hamill, and Mark Hamill's just voicing the entire thing, and it was amazing.
Nice.
So he basically like gets them to fight each other because he's insulting them, but they all have the same damn voice. So they're like, "What'd you say to me?" Like, it's the most amazing thing.
Okay, I gotta look that
Correction,
up.
quick here. We're talking about Yuri Lowell.
Yuri Low, there we go.
He was the main character of Vesperia.
And it was also fun to play.
Nice.
Yeah. So they do a little bit of cutesy thing with Card Captor Sakura, but it doesn't really go that deep.
Okay.
But yeah, so you get the Conan event, and what's fun with this one is usually this game is just a bunch of things happen, and you fight monsters, and then there's a boss, and then the end.
Mm-hmm.
But with this, since they're like they decide to make it more puzzle oriented, so you actually have to solve some puzzles in order to go on. And well, I'm terrible at puzzles, but I somehow managed to get through most of them, so I'm kind of glad.
Nice.
It's usually things like it's hard to explain. It's puzzles. Sometimes it's visual, sometimes it's more like decoding codes or just like figuring out what a word means and whatever, and then you just input the answer in it.
Okay.
Are they generally simple puzzles?
Honestly, it can get really hard. Like some of them are
Okay.
insane.
That sounds good. I mean, I'm not used to that in a phone game, to be honest. Them actually like putting in the effort. That's great.
What they do is when you do the main event, the puzzles are usually easy enough. But then as soon as you're done with like the main story of the event, then they have the side stories, and that's when the puzzles get really hard.
That makes sense. Like the side or post game content is usually like
More challenging.
just for the hardcore. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So you don't get stuck on them for like an hour and like, well, I can't go through, so.
Yeah. I mean, it reminds me of like Disgaea, where like the main game kind of like the meat of the game is the post game, and everything gets crazy hard.
Yeah, you can
So-
finish the game at like level 100, but if you want to defeat
Yeah.
like the other bosses, like level 2,500, it's like holy shit.
Yeah, you could level up to quad 9, and yeah, sure enough, the main story only requires like 90 to 100. So like the post game gets like absurd.
So, how is the content related to Detective Conan in this case? Like, what specifically do they reference?
Oh, well, it's not part of the main story. It's just the professor invents a VR machine because one of their clients is like, hey, VR games are popular, make one for me. He's like, okay. So, of course, it's so classic. Just everyone's invited to test it out, and then, of course, there's a storm, so they just get sent into your world.
So basically, well, getting sent to your world is a bit different, but it makes me think of all games in the world, Virtual Bart, where
Oh
you're just...
wow!
Yeah, that brilliant game, but you put on like a
piece of
VR
crap.
goggles and you're like, whoa, and everything like that happens in the game is because of that.
It's super classic. They just needed an excuse to put the people of Conan in the universe. It's like,
Pretty
virtual reality, zappity zap magic. There you go.
Is
Yeah,
that show still running?
I don't know.
Virtual Bart.
No.
No. Detective
Conan. Man,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think so.
It
be wrong
is
on
a
that.
very long series.
It's a long running series. I know that.
I'd have to check it out, but honestly, I couldn't tell.
Yeah, it was good when it was on Adult Swim. That's when I used to watch it.
Yeah, it's back in the day. I never actually watched it though.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. They used to release like good classic anime like well past its prime, but I kind of like that. I like early 80s like 70s anime and then like early 90s anime as well.
Hokuto no Ken, baby.
Well, like they used to do stuff like Lupin the Third, and I really enjoyed Lupin the Third. And that's way before my time. It's not like I'm being nostalgic for my childhood. It's like, it's great.
Yeah, the only Lupin thing I had ever seen before what little I caught on Adult Swim was like the Miyazaki movie Castle of Cagliostro, which was quite good.
Yeah, I actually have the first. So the one that they showed on Adult Swim, I think, was the third series of Lupin the Third, and so I actually bought the first series on DVD, and it's really good.
Nice.
Miyazaki actually worked on the show before he worked on the movie. That was like his first big project, I think, was working on the show.
Okay.
And the animation is fantastic, especially for the time period in which it came out. I think it was the late 70s. It's really good. You should definitely check it out.
Especially with a name like that. That's basically my name.
That's true.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, you should reveal.
Oh yeah, well, my real name is Lou. It's French, and there's a P at the end because who knows why. The French, they're crazy with their letters and shit.
Maybe you were a wolf in.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
You know what it is? It's because in Latin it's lupus, and they were like, we really like that P, so let's just keep that. I don't know what it is.
And then the French invaded England, and then like added letters to everything.
Basically,
for no reason.
That's what the French people. Actually, you know what one of the theories I heard about that is people who wrote back in the day were paid by the letter, so they just kept adding shit so they could get more money.
No.
I heard almost the opposite, actually.
No. I actually studied this. So I actually for a time knew Middle English. I read
in college,
Canterbury Tales in Middle English. Yep. So every letter was pronounced. It's just that over time they were dropped off. As time progressed, people made the words more efficient in how they spoke. So initially, the whole purpose of written language is to actually write it out phonetically. It's just that we ignored that because of tradition.
Yeah, like for example, like a knight in shining armor, like that was
a knight, a knight.
Yeah, knicht.
Yeah,
knicht. It actually was exactly spelled correctly, and we just don't know that anymore.
It sounds like an onomatopoeia.
Yeah,
like snicked from Wolverine.
Snicked.
Yeah.
I think there was a funny picture floating around somewhere. Where like, I think it was Jubilee. Was like, no, it doesn't actually go snick. It's just Wolverine. He says snicked.
Nice.
It was really funny.
That's amazing.
Shink.
You imagine?
It also adds a new level of hilarity to Monty Python when they call them Kniggets.
Yeah, that's legit. Like I don't know if they knew that or not, but that's legit.
They're really smart guys. I would very much doubt that they hadn't studied that kind of stuff.
Actually, no. That is a good point. Like there was a whole bit in the Life of Brian where they were going over like Latin grammar. Do you remember that?
No, I've actually never seen Life of
Brian. There's a part where somebody's doing graffiti with paint. And I forgot, I don't know what it says because I don't know Latin, but like it was basically like, Romans get out or Romans go home or whatever, and like a Roman soldier walks right up to him and he's standing behind him doing that thing where he just waits until the guy turns around and realizes he's there, and it's like, oh shit, like I'm gonna die. And the guy's like, you realize that like your structure and conjugation is way the hell off. You want to write it like this. Now do it 100 times, and if you're not done by morning, I'll kill you. It's like, what? But they just go into straight up like Latin lesson that they probably haven't thought about since they were in college. It was like really funny.
Anyway, to quickly end my bit on Granblue, I was also really happy because today you guys are making me really lucky because today I got one of the characters I really wanted for like months now.
Hey,
and I think I know what you might be referring to.
I just happened to draw her and I was like, oh sweet, finally.
Who is this?
She's called Therese. She's a fire character, and man, oh man, is she good! Like she's one of the best attackers in the game. So it's just like it's so good to have her in my team. Where it's like I basically have a bunch of people who do low damage and buff. So I need someone to actually hurt. So that's good.
Yeah, you need a heavy.
And there she was. Also, man, there are so many women in this game. If you're looking for like sexy stuff, Granblue is your game. It's just
if
just
you want
women.
waifus,
Just women.
This is your game.
Because I've looked at my party composition, I'm like, all right, I have one guy and 7 women, and that one guy is me, my character. So I was like, and there it is.
Your OC do not steal.
Yeah, it's mine.
You're making your own harem anime.
Basically, that's what it feels like.
You should name him Tenchi.
Yeah, great.
I'll think about it.
Or
this is a reference for any old fart that any old anime fan.
or Kota. Vice is a chance you might know what I'm talking about.
I don't know Kota. Yeah.
You do, but you forgot. He was the guy in Elfen Lied.
Oh, jeez. I haven't even...
Dude,
I saw
guy.
like 2 episodes.
Yeah, Elfen Lied actually makes a joke about how it's like turning into a harem anime.
A pretty violent one.
Yeah, pretty violent.
I really need to continue watching that show.
Well, yeah, that's
sad
pretty much
show.
it for Granblue. And finally, the last game I kind of played a little bit was Diddy Kong Racing 64, but that was for my
game's
video.
great.
Nice.
It's just actually, it's by the time this podcast comes out, it's probably gonna be up. So,
Hey.
but anyway, when I say a little bit, I just like played the first level and spent like 10 minutes squashing frogs. I didn't do much.
Nice.
Or just
Are you gonna go to unlock all the characters? Is that what you're gonna do in that?
Oh no! I just made the video. I'm not going any further than that. This game is really it's too hard for me.
I actually really love Diddy Kong Racing. I actually find it to be better than Mario Kart 64. I'm not a big fan of Mario Kart 64, and everybody seems to love that one.
I really
not a huge
enjoy
fan.
Mario Kart 64, but Diddy Kong Racing obviously has like way more going on.
Oh, it has an adventure mode. Like,
Yeah.
you could and 3 different modes of play. I mean, come on.
Mm-hmm. And different vehicles.
And the racers are actually in 3D models. Like in Mario Kart 64, part of the reason why I don't like it is it feels like your character's kind of like superimposed
on the level.
over the level because it's just a moving sprite.
This is
Also,
hilarious.
yeah, also Diddy Kong Racing is the premiere, I think, of Banjo and of Conker.
Yeah, it was.
Yes.
But it's funny
And
because it's my opinion is the exact opposite of yours. I like Mario Kart a lot better because the style is like 2D on the 3D plane. I don't like Diddy Kong Racing as much. I don't.
Fakafon, it's okay to be wrong.
Yeah, great.
I see. So this is how it's gonna be, huh?
Wait, by the way, Vice. Well, when I said it was the premiere of Banjo and Conker, you said and who?
TikTok.
Yeah. TikTok went off and did his own thing in minigames.
Yeah, so for anybody who doesn't know, that is actually one of the unlockable guest characters in that game. You could play as the judge of the time trials.
Yeah, the
Yes, that's
clock
right.
guy. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
great.
TikTok.
And he's amazing. Like all of his
Yeah.
stats are maxed out. It's insane.
Yeah,
Oh,
whenever
to get
I
him,
see,
it's a big pain in the ass too.
yeah, whenever
Yeah.
I see speedruns on GDQ, like they all play as TikTok.
He's so fast, it's ridiculous. I remember when I
late, I'm
used
late,
to
I'm
play.
late.
Oh, sorry.
I'm late.
Yeah, for a very important date.
I'm very late. I remember when I was a kid, I always used to pick. What was it? I think I used the tiger, and he was terrible, but I didn't know that as a kid, so I was just like, why am I always losing?
No, the thing I remember as a kid was you could unlock, I think his name was like Clucker the Rooster, but like that didn't really mean anything to me. Like, and now for the secret character, I'm like, whatever, I don't know who any of these people are. Like, it's like why does this guy, like, you know, like in Super Smash Brothers, also Ness from Earthbound and Captain Falcon, like, and you might have known who these people are, but like in Diddy Kong, you have this weird cast of characters, and the secret guy is another one. Like, all right,
Yep.
Well,
It's just cool to unlock characters.
Yeah.
It's fun. So, any final thoughts on that?
no, I'm pretty much done with that.
Okay, so I'll move on to my segment. So I played. I had a short weekend here. I actually had to work yesterday, being Saturday, and so I had kind of a short weekend. But I did get some gaming in at night and during today actually. So I played some more Horizon Zero Dawn. I've been making a lot of good progress in that game. So I have gotten all of the collectibles in the game. So I've made some steady progress, and I've also gotten all the corrupted zones done. Now, here is the disappointing part, though. So it was fun to collect them, but the reward for getting all the collectibles is really terrible.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Yeah, so you basically just get a treasure box, and the treasure box has like modifications in it, and the modifications in this game are around everywhere. Like every time you kill a robot, you get modifications. Basically, like they're an uncommon or rare drop out of them. But if you kill enough, if you kill a whole herd, you're gonna have at least 2 or 3 robots that will drop modifications. And if you kill one of the big ones, they'll almost always drop mods. So it took me all game to collect all of these metal flowers, all of these mugs, and all of these these figurines, and you give me just mods. Like,
yeah, that's pretty weak.
Yeah, you could have given me a unique weapon. I would have been happy with that, or a unique outfit.
Well, the thing is,
no.
or a unique anything. Like, in Breath of the Wilds, like, the reward you get for getting all those little Korok seeds is, like, a purposefully stupid reward, but, like, you can't get it anywhere else. Like, it would be really lame if they gave you, like rupees or something. It's like, thanks.
Yeah, well, that was what you got if you got all the Skulltulas.
I remember that. That was lame as hell too, because you can't possibly get all the Skulltulas until you're like 5 minutes from beating the game, and like you are way past the point of spending money on anything at that point.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I was really disappointed because it's gotten to the point where every time a modification pops up, I actually need to disassemble modifications I already have in order to pick them up, because I have so many that I've hit the limit. So I have to disassemble them in order to get them out of my inventory and turn them into currency. And it's not a reward. Some of the figurines were pretty cool to collect because they had, like, challenges in order to get them. So, like, the actual act of collecting them was fun.
Yeah, the journey is more important than the destination.
But, come on, you could have came up with something better than that.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? That does remind me of I think it was one of the Ultima games where, like, you have to, during the whole game, you have to, like, go to the lighthouse and light them. And it's a quest that spans the whole game, but at the end you get like 100 gold, which is like absolutely fucking nothing.
It's useless at that point. Yeah.
Like why the hell did I do that?
Yep.
Yeah. It's so stupid. So I was disappointed by that, but now I can move on without any distractions, just on quests.
Sure.
So I've done really well and starting to uncover some of the mysteries of the game world. So. It's getting to be a lot of fun, and can't wait to keep playing. I also played, speaking of, I played more Kirby Super Star Ultra on the DS, and I played the Great Cave Offensive. So speaking of...
I'm sure it's better in context.
Yeah.
Not in Smash.
I had started it, I believe, last week, and I actually beat it.
Nice.
I got all of the treasures. So, this game actually reminded me a bit, or this sub-game, it's kind of like a Metroidvania-ish kind of game that they set up with Kirby powers as like the Metroidvania. Like, you need to have specific Kirby powers in order to get treasures at the right spots.
Sure.
And some of them are really challenging to do because of the way that you have to obtain your powers and how far away the power may be from where the spot you need to bring it to.
They kind of did that in Kirby 64. Now, it wasn't a Metroidvania, but you would go back to earlier levels with some power you got elsewhere to collect the thing you missed.
Yeah, and that's actually been a trope since Kirby's Adventure, I think, because Kirby's Adventure had, hidden star rod pieces. So, like, each and if you didn't have the correct power, you couldn't collect it at that point. So it's very similar to that in that regard, except it's a whole game of that.
Okay.
So they later expanded upon this in Kirby and the Amazing Mirror, which is probably what I'll play next. But I had a really good time playing this. It also reminded me of the Wario Land games. Have you guys ever played those?
No,
I've
actually.
seen a bit of them.
So in the Wario Land games, one of his things is collecting treasure, and even from the very first Wario Land game, Mario Land 3, Wario Land, that one.
Wait, what? Mario Land 3, Wario Land?
Yes.
Oh my god!
That's actually what the game is called. So you have Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins, Super Mario Land 3, Wario Land.
Yeah, so you evolved from a straight Mario game to a Mario game where Wario is the villain to a Mario game where you play as Wario.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so it started, and then it started off its own series. There are other Wario Land games after that.
To
they
this
dropped
day.
the Super Mario Land moniker, but there's one for the Virtual Boy, and then there are.
It's gone up to the Wii, I think.
Oh well, it goes all the way up to Wario Land 4, but there are other games kind of in the series.
Well, yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah, there are other games where you play as Wario as the main character, and not WarioWare, but there's that Wii game where everything's like hand drawn.
Wario Shake It, yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Wario, I think it's called Wario Land Shake It. But anyway, there's also the Wario Master of Disguise. There's like a couple other games in the series. There's Wario World for the GameCube. Anyway,
Yeah, I have that one.
So in those games, each level has a hidden treasure in it that will help you get to your higher monetary goal. Kind of Luigi's Mansion kind of does that.
Yeah, it does. The ending,
too.
actually, yeah, now that you mention it, it's exactly like the Wario games where the ending of the game depends on how grand your house looks.
Yeah, so if you get all the treasures, you'll get the second best ending, which is good enough. The very best ending, you have to collect like tons and tons of coins, and it's boring.
Yeah, but like it's just funny because you're on the moon.
Yeah,
it's like yes. That's what I've always wanted.
I got all the treasures in Great Cave Offensive. I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. And now I'm moving on to the other segments of the game. I'm going on to Dynablade, which is a lot of fun. I also was very happy because a shmup that I've been waiting for a long time finally got a U.S. release, and that is Dangun Feveron. Which is one of the early cave shmups after they had made Donpachi and Dodonpachi. So this game is a lot of fun. It is very colorful and stars it's a spaceship shmup game, but it has like all these disco dancers with afros littering it. It's just campy fun, and it's very bright and just a blast to play. M2 released it as part of its shmup series that they're putting out. They released Battle Garega was the first one that they had released.
Oh, that one, yeah.
And,
that was the one where the more powerful you get, the harder the game gets.
Correct. In order to play this game, you need to have a PhD in calculus.
Yeah.
In mathematics, it's insane. But Dangun Feveron's a lot easier to play. It's not nearly as complicated. And it's a lot of fun. I haven't gotten much a chance to play it, but it's a good game, and this is the first time it ever got a console release. Whereas Battle Garega actually did get a Saturn release, so at least you had that before.
Yeah.
But this version is going to be phenomenal. I can't wait to play it. They also have another one in the works too. I think it is Kingdom Grand Prix is what they're going to release next, which is a racing / shmup. It's pretty fun. So anyway, I'm really excited that came out, and it also came out on Xbox One, which I was surprised at, but I got it for PS4. Now, the only other thing I wanted to mention is I had a lot of fun with my girlfriend this week. We went to New Hope, Pennsylvania, which is a really neat town for anybody who doesn't know in eastern Pennsylvania. That is right across the river from another really cool town in New Jersey. and in between the two states is the Delaware River. So you can actually cross a bridge and walk between the two fun towns. And it was just really cool. We went there. We went shopping. There's a jerky place there. We bought. They have dried fruit and all different kinds of jerkies.
Oh, sweet!
And I got elk jerky, which is amazing. Huh. I don't know if you guys have ever had elk jerky, but
I've had an elk burger.
Yeah, elk is great. It tastes a little sweeter than beef. So I quite liked it quite a bit. And we had an amazing time. We went to the town in New Jersey that you can go to is Lambertville, and they have the Lambertville Inn there, and they have this really cool wine cellar bar there, and her and I just sat there in these easy chairs in this little, like, really comfy, cozy alcove, and just had a drink and a really good time enjoying each other's company. We also went to a tapas place later, which, if anybody who doesn't know, that's like Spanish-style small plates. It's also kind of like yakitori in Japanese food, or dim sum in Chinese food. You know, just like lots of little tiny dishes that you could share, and you buy like a bunch of them. So, a lot of fun. We had the smoked duck and cheese plate that was out of this world. It was really, really good. And we just got back from going to see Wes Anderson's new movie, Isle of Dogs, which was really amazing. Any fan of animation should definitely go see it. Any fan of dogs too. And my girlfriend also pointed out the pun that I didn't realize in the title.
Oh, wow.
I love dogs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I never thought about it until now.
That's clever.
Yeah, no, she
Oh man.
I'm a big pun guy, and she like pointed out way before I did.
That's clever, yeah.
Yeah. So
in my defense, I'm French, so.
Oh yeah, there you go. Any French puns that you can enlighten us with?
No, not right now. You're putting me on the spot. I'll think about it, I swear.
I was gonna say I don't know how well I would do at understanding them anyway.
Oh yeah, true.
So anyway, it was really good. One really neat thing that they do in the movie is that they have traditional animation on television screens, and they have like the stop motion animation regularly. So it was really neat. It switched between the two, and had a lot of celebrities as the voices, and they even explained like all of the characters who speak Japanese do speak Japanese. Like it takes place in Japan, so like it's pretty neat. Only the dogs really speak English for convenience sake.
Sure.
They're not. They explain they're not actually speaking English. They're woofing.
Oh, thank you.
But all of the human characters are basically speaking in Japanese unless they have a reason not to.
Okay.
So yeah, it's really neat. I loved it. It has kind of like this like timelessness. It feels kind of like it takes place in the 70s, the 50s, the 20s, and right now all at the same time.
Nice.
Huh.
It like has old and new technology like dispersed throughout it. It's really, really neat, and my girlfriend loved it. She's a big dog lover, so this was like a you know, and it had some really neat political commentary as well. So
Sure.
good movie, definitely. So we can move on to questions here. I'm getting a little long in the tooth here.
Yeah, so we did have some responses to last week's question, which was what's your favorite supporting character, or what do you like about supporting characters?
We got a lot of responses.
I'm sorry?
We got quite a lot of responses this time.
Yeah, we got 3 here. So Chris C says one of my favorite side characters is Midna from Twilight
Good
Princess. Because unlike Zelda, she actually gets shit done.
Well, he never played Zelda's Adventure, clearly.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
Oh.
Chrissy, come on, get
excuse
yourself a
me.
CDI and
Yeah, come
hate
on,
yourself
man.
as you play that game.
No, I think he's referring to the fact that Princess Zelda in that particular game doesn't do anything. Of course, she does plenty in many of the other games, but particularly in Ocarina of Time, she's chic. She's a supporting.
That's probably the
action
most
character.
Zelda's done because
No.
she
No, in
she's
Breath of the
basically
Wild.
like a hostage in like the NES games and Link to the Past.
No, Breath of the Wild. She is.
Yeah,
she's
she actually does stuff
the
in Breath of the
hero.
Wild. Yes,
She's actually the hero.
and this was a surprise to me. She's not even in Majora's Mask. I don't think.
I think there's
No.
like a small clip at the beginning of the game where you like
Yeah, when you
learn
leave
the-
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
But we're just not dealing with that. All right, so Solidus
Midna's a
Scully
fantastic
says,
character,
of all supporting characters I've loved, the two favorites are going to be Daxter from Jak and Daxter, or
choice.
Junko Zane from Freelancer, which is a space combat game. I haven't heard of that one.
I haven't heard of that one either.
So voting for Daxter
I have,
for a
actually.
sly. Oh, nice. So voting for Daxter for a sly sense of humor and wisecracks, but he also always has Jack's back, no matter how dangerous the situation gets or how much he's going to whine about dealing with it, but he does deal with it. And Junko Zane, it's down to the working relationship between her and Edison Trent, and they both got each other's back even when the circumstances start to go pear-shaped and things weren't all as they seemed, but they always stuck by each other, stuff like that. And then Fakafon has an answer, but of course he's not on the podcast, so I guess I'll read the answer because it's the
Hate
best
that
thing I
guy.
got.
Go
for
ahead.
it. Read it. No, read it.
Oh, you actually want me to read it?
All right,
No,
I'll read
read
it.
Yeah.
Look, my favorite supporting character are Navi and Zelda from Zelda and Chip from Sonic Unleashed because they're the best. And they can provide you with tutorials. They're cool. I love them. I'm not being forced to read this.
You must love your
Clippy.
supporting. You must love your Navi equivalent from Skyward Sword, who people. Must be a
You
fav-
should probably actually really love Clippy from Microsoft Word.
You clip it.
Woo! Oh
Clippy.
boy.
No, his name is Clippy.
It is Clippy.
Yeah.
It looks like you're starting to write
a
a letter.
paperclip.
Would you like any help with this?
It looks like I'm bothering you. Would you like me to talk more? Get off! Get off my freaking text!
Son of a bitch, Clippy. All
Well,
right,
yeah,
so,
no,
So were you being sarcastic, or do you actually?
Yes, I was being sarcastic.
Oh, okay.
hey, listen. All right, so so our question for this week, General Ledger put a bunch in a row, so this is another General Ledger question. So, are there any gameplay mechanics you wish would go away, or would be revived? One thing I'll say I'm getting tired of is the forced 2-weapon loadout in first-person shooters. Just let me pick up like 10 guns, like in Doom or something.
Yeah, like in
Like it just
GoldenEye.
frustrates. Yeah, I remember. I think my first experience with this was Fear, where if you pick up a third weapon, you got to drop one of the two you have. But I remember like Duke Nukem Forever made fun of new gameplay styles, like power armor is for pussies, but you just have power armor in that game, and you also have a 2-weapon loadout, and it's like,
Well then.
wait a minute. Like,
I would have to go with the classic complaint, the escort mission.
Ugh.
okay,
So
that can be done, but you really got to do it right, like BioShock
in-
Infinite.
in modern games, they have been quite good. So, like, for instance, the damage that the other character takes doesn't matter, or like they're smart enough to deal with it. So, like, for instance, to the point where it's not even an escort mission anymore, you can't even really call it that. So, like Alex Vance from Half-Life 2, for instance, like she's a very capable character on her own. She doesn't need your help. And you also have Ico is a perfect kind of escort mission. It works well in that context. But like or Eco, I apologize.
Yeah, the entire game is an escort mission, but like there are set times where you're aware I gotta protect this person, and it's not that hard to do. Like the challenge of the game is you can go these places, but she can't, so you have to find a way to like build a path for her, and it makes it like it works.
So the ones that I'm mainly complaining about are the ones that have like waves.
Natalia
so, like,
from the Control and GoldenEye.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my
That's
God.
that's a classic example. Another classic example is in Rogue Squadron, the original Rogue Squadron.
Oh,
you
wow. Yeah.
you have to and Battle for Naboo, which is kind of like a spin-off. You have to protect like a convoy from waves of attacks, and it's just really annoying because you don't know when everything's going to spawn.
Yeah.
So like it's stupid. And also the one in I hate this one. The one in that Tri-Ace game that I always forget the name of. The one where you have the triangles.
Resonance of Fate.
Resonance of Fate. Yeah, there we go. I love that game, but goddamn, protecting that stupid ass statue is the worst.
No, seriously, like I was playing that game pretty okay, but that was my, like, except for the first boss of the game, the tar monster, that statue was like the real wall, like, of that game.
That's when I stopped playing the game.
That was hard. Like, I remember you mentioned that. I'm like, well, because I know you're pretty on and off with your game sometimes, and I was playing consistently, so I'm like, I think I got this. That was crazy hard. Yeah,
it just straight, and it's a point in the game that you have to finish. It's not like a side mission.
Yeah, I don't even know if the game has side missions. Like, just deal with it. Like, that was insanely hard.
The only way that you one of the ways that you could deal with it is if you have enough money, you could just plow your way through it. But
it's unlikely that you would by that point.
Yeah, because
like that's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. Yeah, it's a lot of money to replace it. So you would specifically need to grind for money in order to like repair.
You do that one
the
main
statue.
mission. Oh, and speaking of Resonance of Fate, by the way, I don't know if I would call this a thing that appears in lots of games that I wish wouldn't, but one thing that I did find a little frustrating was that you can find items as you play, but they're like one-time pickups, but one of those item types is grenades. And especially for that first boss, the tar monster, that's when you kind of start to learn, I actually need to throw grenades to really penetrate this guy's shields. The thing is, once you run out, you run out. Like, there is a point in the game where you can buy all the grenades you want, but that's surprisingly later. So you might not know that going in, so you're going to have just no grenades. I hope you don't need them. Like, technically, you never require them, but you kind of sort of do. So that can be frustrating as well.
How about you, Fakafon? Do you have any that you would like to do without?
Yeah, there's actually I haven't played the game myself, but it's about like the new Metal Gear that came out.
Phantom Pain or Survive?
Survive.
Okay.
So, like, people have been talking about this, but there's a gameplay mechanic that literally takes you out of the game and says, like, can you give us money, please, so you can save your game again? I'm like, oh, that's a really rough gameplay mechanic.
Ugh.
That's a dick. Well, I mean, to overwrite your save file or to create a new save file?
No, if you want to unlock more save files, if you want to unlock more, just basically, if you want your game to be more enjoyable, you got to pay a lot of money, and that's one.
Yeah, no, that is a dick move.
That's a
like,
shitty
really
gameplay mechanic where you need to pay actual money.
Yeah. Oh, my brother also wants to play the game. Guess I better pay for a save slot. Like,
yeah, exactly. What the hell?
Yeah. That's so disingenuous.
That's
an EA move, except it was Konami.
It feels like you're playing a demo, and I was like, whatever, just pay for more now. It's like, what the hell? Like, in the demo version, I could understand if, like, the features are not done yet, but then...
Yeah.
I mean, what the... It's terrible. I guess microtransactions, it's not a gameplay mechanic, but I was making a really bad joke.
No, in general, that is really frustrating. Although, I will give one little shout-out. One gameplay mechanic I'm really not seeing anymore, and I'm happy about that, is this was especially prominent when we were growing up, but a limited number of continues because I don't know. Like, you could eventually just game over on something like Streets of Rage. Not that was a very hard game, but you could just keep dying and game over, and it's like, well, that's it for you. I know the idea was to get more gameplay out of the game because you paid like $50 for it, but it's like, at this point, like in modern day, when they re-release those kinds of games on like collections on console, usually, like, I remember I've brought this up before, but Vice's like Taito collections too, the beat 'em ups and stuff like that, and like the Darius games,
they just give you
just fuck it, yeah, just infinitely, yeah. It's just like you still die and have to continue, but it like free play is enabled, basically.
Yeah.
It's like in Time Crisis, you can eventually game over, but every time you game over, you unlock one more continue until you hit 9, and then you unlock infinite free play. Just give us the free play, man. Like, I'm not paying by the play. Like, I paid however much money for the copy of the game. I own it. Just let me do it.
So that brings up another one that I mentioned with Horizon. Most of Horizon Zero Dawn is a fantastic game. Don't get me wrong. This is just one of the criticisms I have. You need to have a specific. So there's a consumable item to fast travel. Okay. Like, why is that there?
What the hell?
Like,
yeah, why is it consumable? Why isn't it just a menu option?
Kind of like in Dragon's Dogma, then.
I'll take your word.
so yeah, there's a fast travel pack.
Okay.
Like, but like any other like open world game, you could just fast travel now. Like,
just go to a bonfire.
Once you unlock
boom.
It,
yeah.
Once
like
you unlock
Red Dead,
it, you can go.
Yeah.
So Fallout, like what Fallout, the Elder Scrolls games, they're all like that.
Yeah. You've discovered a landmark. Beam back and forth. Why not?
Yeah. So in this game, you can't do that. You can only do it if they're plentiful, these packs, but why even have them to begin with? It doesn't make sense as a mechanic. It's not like I'm going to abuse this in any way. They're easy to find. They're cheap.
Yeah.
Why are they even here to begin with? Somebody.
Well, it's like what you said about Monster Hunter, where like you had to sharpen your blade and everything, and that stopped taking up inventory slot, your cooking, your cookware. It stopped being an inventory slot, and it's just an option because, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But I do like this. So this is a second part question. What would you like to be revived? I did kind of like how the Mummy Demastered kind of brought back ammo to
to Metroidvanias.
To Metroidvanias, yeah. I like the limited resource aspect in some games. Because it gives you that sense of tension, like I need to kill this thing before I run out of ammo.
Yeah.
I don't like farming. I think that's bad game design. Because like why should I be forced to sit here
you know that
farm?
I'm gonna grind away anyway. Just let me start with it.
But I do like it in the sense of having limited resources and kind of like the survival horror kind of aspect to it.
Sure.
So I do like that they did that in that game. So I'm glad that that's kind of being revived in some ways. I mean, like, don't go crazy with it. I don't want it super old school, because to the point where like you know it's like the original Metroid when you have all of your E-tanks, but every time you start the game you have to refill all your E-tanks.
Yeah, it's like get the hell out of here.
That's just fucking bad design. That's all that is.
Well, actually, speaking of, I don't know if I would necessarily call this a gameplay mechanic, but one thing I wouldn't mind seeing again, and this is not specific to Resident Evil, but I would just kind of like to see it in general again, is fixed camera angles, because
I do like that.
There are certain games where, like again in Resident Evil 1, for example, you switch camera angles or you enter a new room, and like it's all artsy, like there's like it's focusing right on you, you're taking up the full screen, like like you're looking right at the camera. Like there are little things like that you can't do in games with free camera. Like that's one thing I actually heard about people complaining about Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence, which like camera control is great in a game like Metal Gear because you need to know what the hell's going on, but at the same time, with fixed camera angles, every single thing you see in the game has been deliberately selected. So even if you have less control, this is what the game developers meant for you to see. So there's a certain beauty to that. The same goes for on a rail shooter. Everything you see is in such and such a way where you always have the best view. Yeah, like
it has a frame on it. Look at this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. How about you, Fakafon? Can you think of anything that you would like to be revived from days of yore?
Honestly, no. I mean, the way games are today, like most of the things that I think should, I just think now games are a lot more ironed out than they used to be. So I can't really think of anything that I really like to see revived and be like, oh, if only this was back. But no, sorry.
Well, this is kind of like a backhanded version of your microtransaction things, but like being able to unlock shit by like playing enough.
Yeah,
like,
I guess
accomplishing something. And I don't mean like Battlefront 2 where you have to play for like 1,000 hours. But
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
just,
like Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
more like that. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
That is true.
Well,
It is funny too because in Brawlhalla, that's exactly how you unlock stuff. You just play it and then it unlocks.
Yeah, that is pretty rad.
I mean, there are some things that like went out of style and then kind of came back. It wasn't like challenge, for instance. I mean, like the Dark Souls style challenge kind of really put everybody's finger on the pulse of why challenge used to be bad, but now challenge is good. So challenge was bad because it used to just inconvenience the player, but Dark Souls and Demon Souls got around that by really not inconveniencing you too much. Like for instance, like Ninja Gaiden, for instance, you know, would set you back a whole level. You know, when you died at the boss, you know, at the final boss, and that's just infuriating.
Yeah, and on the last level where there's like 3 phases, do it all over again. But actually, speaking of which, though, there's another thing that's different about challenge today and challenge back then, and this does not apply to everything. For example, Super Mario Brothers is a challenging game, but it's well made. But when people say Nintendo hard, a lot of Nintendo games were just bullshit. Like they were just like they were just like poorly made, or like something like this isn't necessarily true of a game like Contra, but of Contra itself, but like poorly made like games like Contra, where like, for example, Vice, what you were saying, the arcade Contra, where you have less field of vision, so you walk to the right and something just hits you because you couldn't see it from off the screen. Like that's like not well designed challenge. That's just like you must try to figure it out. With Dark Souls, the camera could get wonky at some points if it's in the foregrounds, like if you're up to the foregrounds, but for the most part, usually if you die in the Souls game, it's kind of on you. It's not like, oh, the game screwed me over. Like, that's not usually how it works. Whereas in Nintendo, it could have been.
NES games, a lot of them were descendant of arcade games at the time, too. So you got to remember that arcade games were meant to kick your ass. You weren't meant to beat them. Yep. They were meant to take your money. And in many cases, in a lot of the old arcade games, you just couldn't beat them, or they weren't, like, the people that did beat them were very, very slim. I mean, nobody was meant to beat Ghosts and Goblins in the arcade. Nobody did that. I mean,
good luck unlocking the Pleasure Dome.
No, but yeah, which didn't even exist in the original version of the game. So, what I'm trying to say is, like, a lot of those games were either ports of those games or were descendant of the DNA of that thinking. You know, of, hey, we're making a challenging game. We're not going to even play test it to even see if it's possible to beat this. All games nowadays are really meant to be beaten. I mean, it's part of the experience of playing a game is beating it.
Yeah.
Unless it's something like a roguelike or a roguelite, where they're meant to be beaten, but only after extensive playing. Like, you know, Binding of Isaac, you could beat that, like, and get all the content and you know, go get all the challenges, but only if you're an expert. You know,
if you like the base ending is easy enough, but there's way more beyond that that's just like way too demanding.
Games are meant to be beaten nowadays. You're meant to see all of the content of the game, even the most challenging of games.
By the way, I did think of one more thing when you said that games are descended from arcade, or were descended from arcade ports, and that they didn't change it. This is not like a common thing today, but it happens to home ports of arcade games that I wish they would stop, which is like, you can get one of 2 endings based on some last second thing. That
like Mad Dog McCree.
But that's not based on the last second.
Or Target Terror. I'm sorry,
Zombie
Terror.
That was some bullshit. Yeah. Yes. Well, Zombie Wii was way worse because that was always designed to be a home port, but like, or a home game. But like, what I mean is, that last. I mean, if you give me a level select, like the thing with Until Dawn, for example. I had said a couple weeks ago that, or maybe it was even last week, that there's a make or break thing at the very end of the game where you can have a lot of people die. And thank God you do not have to play the entire 10-hour game again. you can just replay the last level, which still takes a good hour or so, but like you could do worse. But like it bothers me when home games still do that. You made it all the way here, now like you better have your twitch reflexes ready, don't mess up, or else it's all for nothing. Like yeah, Zombie Wii U, that really, or well, Zombie U, but I played on PS4. That really screwed me, and I'm not playing that entire goddamn game again. I suppose if I really wanted to, and this isn't even a game feature. This is save scumming, but I could like USB save. But like, come on, don't make me do that.
Yeah, there's a special place in hell for save scummers. You should know that.
I don't give a shit. I'm not playing that fucking giant ass game again.
But anyway, so you you're aware of the consequences.
Whatever, man. Judge me all you want. I'm getting that fog ring in Dark Souls 2.
Yeah.
But anyway, what I was gonna say is, I dislike the fact that I was locked into an ending. Like, so for Far Cry 4, I did what I thought I was supposed to do, and it turned out that like I got a much more fulfilling ending if I hadn't done what I did.
Yeah.
And I just was locked out of that ending. Like, why wouldn't you just allow me to see it since I've gotten this far? Like, there was literally no way for me to.
Yeah, it would be
back.
nice if a game gave you to like the option to reload. Like that's one thing that I miss actually about old games is this usually applies more to PC
like
stuff because you can save. Yeah, or even just hard saving. Like now, most things are autosave. Like,
that's the problem with it.
Like save points could be a bit frustrating because you got to find them, but like you could always just reload from them. Now, some autosave games do allow you to reload previous autosaves, like if they have that option, which is kind of nice. But I still like just being able to be like, this is when I choose to save.
Yeah. All right. Well, do you have any final words on this, guys?
No, not really.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, well, that'll be our show for this week. We really want to thank everybody that responded. We want to thank Chris C., Solidus Scully, and some weirdo named Fakafon.
Who the hell is that guy?
Yeah.
What an idiot.
Jeez, lay off on Fakafon.
No, that guy's an asshole. Just forget about him.
Oh, okay.
He's just putting sarcasm on our page.
Yeah, I mean, what the hell?
We don't truck with people.
We don't truck. Okay. Yeah.
I took that one from the fucking Crucible.
Wow.
Chichiba, man. Kids, ask your parents' English teachers for that one.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I have to say I'm loving the amount of interactivity. Guys, please keep it up. We will continue to read your responses on the air. Please also give us new questions and keep responding to our questions this week. We would love to see what kind of responses that we'll get for the mechanics here of games of yore. Please keep us supplied with awesome topics by submitting your questions via the YouTube and SoundCloud pages. While there, please give us thumbs ups, likes, and 5-star ratings on iTunes. It helps us promote and spread awareness of the show, and any bit of encouragement helps keep Fakafon coming on the show.
Hey!
You can also catch us on Thursdays on our sister podcast, Corrective Consciousness, where you will unfortunately have to listen to us again.
Oh, no!
The end of look
Apologies.
at this week in our lives. Finally, you can friend me as vysethebold on Steam, PSN, Xbox Live, Twitter, and on the street.
Okay. You can follow me on my YouTube channel, Lotus Prince. You can hit me up on Twitter at Lotus Prince. And finally, if you are interested in seeing some videos early, getting in on exclusive live streams, or even selecting upcoming games for me to Let's Play, like the aforementioned Ori and the Blind Forest, then
or
perhaps
Stonekeep 2.
Excuse me, then perhaps consider swinging by my Patreon account at patreon.com/LotusPrince. No, I'm sorry, Vice, what were you saying?
Stonekeep 2, Stonekeep 2, Stonekeep 2.
No, Stonekeep 2 is not a Patreon thing. I'm just streaming
Nobody
that.
would pay for that.
I don't think anybody would actually want to pay me to play fucking Stonekeep Bones of the Ancestors.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
I would. And Fakafon, where can people find you, and where can they find that video of Mario Kart that you were talking, or Diddy Kong Racing?
Yeah, well, they can find me on YouTube if they write Fakafon. I'm also on Twitter on Lou Fakafon. That's Loup Fakafon. And if you go on Steam, it's probably Fakafon as well. Probably.
Okay, gotcha. You should double check that. We don't misinform our audience.
It'll be fine. Nobody's actually gonna friend me.
Oh. Your feed's gonna blow up tomorrow.
Oh God.
I gotta buy some more rope.
Man, oh man.
That's actually a joke from Freakazoid.
Yeah, Candlejack. I'm gonna need some more rope.
Buy some more rope.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need some more hemp.
We're gonna need more hemp before we're through.
Oh God.
What's that from?
That's from You're the Hunter from the Future.
Oh my goodness.
What?
It's one of those old movies.
Do you remember the guy from Space Mutiny, the main character?
What?
Reb?
No.
I think it's Reb Brown, his name, right?
It is Reb Brown, yeah.
Wow.
He's the man. Actually, literally, yours where he's the man.
I'm out of the loo here.
No, yours where it's at. Anyway, we should probably end this podcast.
No, that was a joke on Fakafon's name. I'm out of the loo. Anyway.
Yeah, I know what my name means.
We'll catch you on Thursdays.
Until next time, everyone.
See you, everyone.
Bye-bye.